Hey, how's it going? I'm Dom, and in today's video I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 5, which has been my main go-to smartwatch for just over 2 months. Now, I wanted to start this video by saying that the WearOS platform has seriously gone a long way since the release of the Pixel Watch, to be fair, and I'm loving that in the space of 2 months, I'm seeing more and more apps on the WearOS platform, which is absolutely a amazing thing. Because I remember back in the days when I used to daily drive the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra or any other WearOS or even Android Wear smartwatch, the availability of apps wasn't great, but it's getting a lot better, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm loving to see that the platform is just getting so much better and better, which is obviously really good to see. Let's take a closer look at the specs and features of the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 5. Now, with the technical stuff out of the way, I just wanted to talk to you about how I actually use the watch. I think that it will provide you a little bit of a insight into how it's used and why the battery lasts so well. But yeah, so I primarily use this watch as a everyday watch. So I use it to receive notifications, to reply to texts, to reply to WhatsApp now because that's available on Wear OS. And I don't know what it's like elsewhere in the world, but in the UK, WhatsApp seems to be one of the most popular platforms. So I'm absolutely delighted to see that it has its own native app on Wear OS. But other than that, I also use it for fitness activities. I do a lot of cycling in my spare time. It tracks the trips really well. I also do a lot of hiking and it tracks those pretty well. Now, other than that, I also use it for sleep tracking, which once again, the watch just does incredibly well. And by the way, all of that is thanks to a really well built app. So my previous daily smartwatch was the Google Pixel, which has Fitbit integration. Now, I get it, I know Fitbit integration is still a pretty new thing on the Pixel Watch. It's a new thing in general, if I'm honest. But I feel that Mobvoi has nailed it with the fitness apps and the fitness trackers on this watch. I mean, the app on the watch itself is just so detailed. It gives you so much information. And on top of that, it also gives you a lot of information in the app, which we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. But yeah, other than that, I also use it as a general smartwatch. I'm using it right now to record and to see myself to make sure that I'm in focus and I'm on the camera because I'm recording this video using my Google Pixel 7 Pro. But yeah, I've been using it as a general smartwatch and so far I'm actually incredibly impressed. So first thing is first, I wanted to discuss the battery life, which as someone coming from the Google Pixel Watch, I think is phenomenal. I mean, on average, I'm getting around 3 days worth of battery life, which, still after the fact that the watch is almost 3 months old, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, with the Pixel Watch, I was lucky if I had 1.5 days worth of charge, and that's even without the ultra low power saving mode kicking in. But with the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 5, I think that the dual display has a lot to say about this. I mean, the actual watch itself just lasts. I mean, I've got to be honest with you here. I don't usually check the battery percentage of this watch until it actually tells me that it's low because I know that the battery is so good on this. With the Pixel Watch, I always used to wake up and then put the watch on charge, making sure I'm checking to make sure that I have enough battery for the day. With this, it's actually really easy to forget because the battery is just there and is perfect. It's perfectly adequate for your smartwatch. I haven't tried the watch with the always on display on, simply because I do actually like the dual display because obviously not only does it save battery life, but at the end of the day, if it's bright outside, I can see the time incredibly well. Now there will be a more detailed review which will talk about that a little bit later this month. The review will be a written review and will be posted onto my blog at techwithdom.com. So if you haven't checked out my blog, I'll leave a link down below. And yeah, do check it out. That's my other side of the channel. I just want to talk to you about the fitness watch as well. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to see it here, so I'm going to take my watch off. Okay, so if I show you the fitness features, so first of all, if I swipe this way, you've got my activity tracking. I haven't been very active today, but I've done 103 steps with the watch. I haven't practically met any of my goals. I've done 0 exercise. I've done 0 active hours. I've burnt 35 calories though, and then a distance of 0.04 miles. Obviously pretty cool. What I can also do, if I select my photo here, I can log how I'm feeling. So at the minute, I guess that's my feeling. I'm feeling happy. But if I move it, I also can start a workout. Now you do have a wide range of workouts to choose from, and you can even add more if you wanted to. There's just endless amounts of workouts you can do, and most of these do sync with Strava if you're into that. So this is my sleep tracking, and this is where it comes to be detailed. I slept for 9 hours and 27 minutes. Gives you a nice little graph here, which features your sleep stages such as awake, REM, light sleep, deep sleep. It also gives you my sleep heart rate, blood oxygen during sleep, and a few other things. It also gives you some nice little tips here. As well as a regular sleep schedule. You got some quick shortcuts to your exercises. Got your weather. And yeah, that's Google Keep. Just that fitness app alone, or the shortcuts, give you so much detail. The Fitbit app, or the one that's built into the watch, I feel is really limited, and considering the fact that they are expecting you to pay a monthly subscription price for having the advanced sleep tracking features, I think that Fitbit have a lot to learn from other brands such as Mobvoi. Now, I know that a lot of you will be asking me about the updates on this watch, and I'm happy to say that since owning this watch, the TicWatch Pro 5 has received quite a few WearOS updates. Unfortunately, it's not WearOS 4 just yet. Fingers crossed that that's coming. Obviously, I don't have any information whether it is coming anytime soon, but I am very hopeful that it is. But in all fairness, I'm just glad to see that it's receiving regular updates, and that's just WearOS updates. It's also received a Android update, and the apps are constantly being updated on there as well, which is obviously a massive bonus. Moving on to the things that I feel Mobvoi could do better or could do to improve this watch. First one, it may not be a huge thing for many of you, but for me it is, as I am in the Google ecosystem. I really hope that Mobvoi release Google Assistant support for this watch. I think it's just nice to be able to ask the watch to set reminders for you, and for them then to sync with your Google app, your Google Calendar, that sort of stuff. I think it will be absolutely brilliant for it to be able to sync with the ecosystem. I think it will also be great if I could ask the assistant what's the weather and that sort of stuff on the watch. Obviously, the second thing I'm hoping that Mobvoi do with this watch is that they release WearOS 4 and that it will continue to receive regular updates. But yeah, as for my final 2.5 month verdict of me wearing and using this watch, I think that it is a phenomenal watch, and it has really huge potentials, especially if you are into sports and outdoor living, because the fitness features of this watch are absolutely phenomenal, and just the details that it gives you within the actual watch. I mean, I absolutely adore the fact that I can't show you now, but during an activity which uses a GPS, it gives you a nice little map of where you've been. I mean, it's such a small thing, but it goes a long way, if you know what I mean. I think it's a really nice touch. Now that brings me on to my next point, and it's actually a question. I'm after some advice. So when it comes to style, I'm not the best person to ask, fashion tips, that sort of stuff. But obviously I've got this watch in sandstone, which I think looks absolutely brilliant. But I am sort of getting but I am sort of getting bored of this band that I'm using, this default band that came with it. It's a really good band, don't get me wrong, but I want to try a few other things. So I'm not sure what colors of straps to go with for this watch. If you have any advice, obviously this is what the watch looks like. It's got a sort of gold bezel. So if you have any advice of what color straps would suit this watch, let me know down in the comments of this video. But yeah, that's it from me in this video. If you have any questions, feel free to also fire them down in the comments. As I mentioned before, I will also be writing up a far more detailed review on my blog, which will be available at www.techwithdom.com. So if you haven't checked out my blog, I highly recommend that you do so. And do subscribe to my weekly newsletter where I share some cool stories as well as tech news and anything else related to tech. I'll leave it all linked down below. But yeah, till next time. Oh yeah, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps small channels like this get noticed by the algorithm. But yeah, till next time.